The Friday Sports Riot on SportstownChicago.com.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot. I'm Ryan Hoppy.
And I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And on the phone line from HOT 105.3 FM in Grand Rapids, we have Marty Brooks on the phone line. What's up, Marty?
Nothing. How you guys doing?
We are doing good. So how has everything been up in Grand Rapids since we last talked to you?
Well, it's been an interesting move. They moved me over to to do afternoons on our top 40 station, so I've been doing afternoons for the past few months, and everything's going pretty well. I don't need to wake up early anymore.
Yeah, what's that transition like when you go from waking up in the morning to being able to sleep in a bit?
It's a little different because you never know what's going to happen. You actually get to go to a concert and have a few drinks and not worry about getting up at 4 or something in the morning. So you have a little more of a social life than I guess you do when you do mornings. Not to say that you don't have a social life when you do mornings, but you're able to do a few more things and kind of have a little bit normal of a lifestyle than you would if you do mornings, where you take naps or go to bed early, things like that.
Well, that has to be a nice transition for you. So with the Cubs last night, they lost in 16 innings to the who did they lose to again, Ryan?
Pirates.
They lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates in 16 innings. What was your take on that? Is there anything positive with the Cubs this year that we can look forward to?
Well, so far the pitching's kind of held up. Besides the guy who's lost Villanueva, who's lost 2 games for us. But what are you going to say? It's typical to not have a very good closer. I wish Woody would come back. The fact is that the Cubs are going to have, I think, a decent team when it comes to pitching.
Yeah.
Obviously, scoring runs seems to be the issue right now, and when you score 4 runs over 2 games, that's not going to do it.
A bright spot for the Cubs so far these past 2 games has been Emilio Bonifacio. He has 9 hits in 2 games with the Cubs. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, unbelievable. He was 4 for 4 on Monday, and I can't remember his final stats yesterday, but he's batted over 700. I think it's 750 or something like that. But here's the thing: that's what you need in a leadoff hitter. You need someone who's going to get on base. You just need the 3, 4, 5 hitters to come around and actually get people in the scoring position.
How can the Cubs get clutch hitting after leaving all those men on base the first 2 games of the year?
You know what? You just need production. And I know Rizzo's. Here's the thing: Rizzo's been in the league for a few years. The guy knows how to hit. Don't always go for the power swing; just go for the base hit. That's all you need. And for some reason, the Cubs for a long time were the long ball hitters, and not so much anymore. You don't really have a lot of. There's some power, but there's not a lot of power on that Cubs lineup. Mike Holt, I think we're going to look a lot for him as a rookie and as a huge prospect for the Cubs this season. But Darwin Barney, come on, we've seen Darwin Barney hit better in so far the past 2 games. He really hasn't done much. Nor is Darwin Castro.
And what do you think of all the fans who want Barney to be traded by July? What's your take on that?
You know what? We have a pretty dang good farm system, and there's nothing wrong if you have to trade Darwin Barney because, let's just be honest, yes, he's a great infielder. He's a fantastic infielder. But you know what? That doesn't matter how great of a fielder you are. You need to be well-rounded, and right now Darwin Barney is just one-sided, and that is just a really good infielder.
Now, the Cubs have been solid as far as their defense is concerned. Do you think that Jeff Samardzija could be moved by the trade deadline? Because there's been a lot of talk about that.
You know what? I don't think he's going to be. First, if you get rid of him, your starting pitching rotation isn't very good then. And is he a trade piece? If he went to another team, he'd probably be maybe slotted in the 3 or 4, maybe even 5th spot in the rotation. What is his trade value? What are you going to get out of him? We have a great farm system. Do we need more? I think that's the question. I don't know. I don't think we do. But, look at what he did in his first game. That's what you need from a leader on your team. He's 29. He's been in this league for, 4 or 5 years, 6 years now. And he needs to be playing better baseball, and I think this is the season for him. This is make or break for him.
And now moving on to the Bears. The Bears signed Jared Allen last week. What were your first impressions on him and the move itself?
That was the best wake-up call I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Yes.
I was so excited. First thing I did is I called my parents. Jared Allen, what a surprise. What a classy guy. What a hard player. He brings energy. He brings leadership. He brings every doesn't really matter. He plays defensive end. He's going to come off the line hard, and he's going to put some fear into definitely some quarterbacks and some left tackles when he's coming off that end.
Now, since the Bears have improved their defense so much, how good can this team be in 2014?
You know what? There's nothing that says we can't be Super Bowl champions, especially with the Bears' defense now. I mean, the defensive line, Donajay coming back. How huge is that? I know we lost Julius Peppers. Let the Packers have him. You know what I mean? And I love Julius Peppers. I'm a huge fan, but he didn't do anything last year.
No.
Right.
So why would you spend that much money on a guy who hasn't done anything? So, it's like the Packers were reaching to do something just so people thought that they were relevant, because I know they're saying that the division's going to come down between the Packers and the Bears, but as we saw, the Bears had no defense last year. If the Bears had a defense, we would have beat the Packers in the last game of the season. We actually probably wouldn't even been in that situation. We probably would have had a much better record and probably would have gone deeper into the playoffs, made the playoffs and gone deeper in them.
And now Jay has been our quarterback for the last 5 years, as the anniversary of the 2009 signing was a few days ago. How would you describe the Jay Cutler era, as he has been on the team for a half a decade?
I love Jay Cutler. You know what? The team, we've never had an offense like we've had over the past this past season, because he has weapons now to throw to. We had Matt Forte. We have a better offensive line. The first couple of years, we had a quarterback that could escape the pocket. Yes, he got sacked a lot. Yes, he got hurt a few times. But Jay Cutler, he's one hell of a quarterback. And, if you look at him, I think this is another big season for him, because I don't see why he can't be an all-star caliber quarterback, especially with the talent that we have with Alshon Jeffrey and with Marshall and every other single weapon that we have. I know Bennett's not on the team anymore, but that doesn't mean that other guys can't step up, like Weems and things like that.
Now, moving on to some basketball, it looks like the Bulls are going to be a 3rd or 4th seed in the playoffs. Now, going into the first round, do you think that they could go far and possibly play the Heat and Pacers in the second round?
Oh, yeah. The Bulls should win the first round of the playoffs. And, here's the thing. Who do you want to play against? Do you want to play against the Heat, or do you want to play against the Pacers? And that's where the Bulls are going to end up. That's who they're going to end up playing, is one or the other. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be the Pacers.
Yeah.
The Pacers almost lost last night against the Pistons. The lonely Pistons aren't that good this year. So how good are the Pacers? They're a very inconsistent team. They're either dead on for a game or they are completely dead off. I think with the Heat, you're always going to get they're always going to have one bad game in a series, maybe two. But I'd rather face the Pacers, I think, in the playoffs.
What happened with the Pacers? I mean, they were so good in the beginning of the year to the middle part of the season, and now they seem to just be fizzling through the year.
Man, do they ever? It's like they don't have the pizzazz that they had. Rebounding, I mean, they're doing all right. Hibbert. I don't know. It's like they just don't have it. It's like, we're done. We just want to play in the playoffs and see, hopefully make it to the championship. That's the way it looks like to me. It looks like a bunch of young guys who are like, we're tired of playing right now. We just want to go to the playoffs.
And now, what do you see happening with the Blackhawks as the NHL playoffs are very close? What's going to happen with this team?
Well, here's the thing. We're going to get Kane back. We're going to get Taves back in the playoffs. And I'm not worried at all. Teams always go through funks. I'd rather go through a funk now than a funk in the playoffs. So, it is what it is. And when you lose a scoring machine like Patrick Kane, what are you going to do about it? I mean, the guy is fantastic. Let's just say it now. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, they're future Hall of Famers. There's no doubt about that. So when you lose two Hall of Fame caliber type players, it's going to hurt you no matter what. So there's really nothing you can do about it. You just have to play your game and play the best that you can and see what happens. And let these guys get some rest. Taves and Kane, they play a hell of a lot of games. So let them sit out for a bit. It's not a big deal. I think that's why they're resting Taves a bit. Is why not? I mean, I know he's injured, but he's day to day. But why not just let him sit out for the next week and a half?
Now, before we let you go, Marty, where can people find your work online and on the radio?
Yeah, you can always go to 1053hotfm.com. You can always find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Marty Brooks Radio, or always on Twitter @Marty Radio. So there's always ways to get a hold of me and things like that. But thanks, guys, so much for taking time and hanging out with me.
Thanks, Marty. Have a good show.
Have a good day.
All right, thanks, Ed.
That was Marty Brooks of HOT 105.3 FM in Grand Rapids, the top 40 channel there, to talk about the Cubs, the Bulls, and the Blackhawks.
Yep.
We will be right back on the Friday Sports Riot.
Oh, Hoppy and Super Rich, only on WNUR 89.3 FM. The Hoppy and Super Rich Show, only on WNUR 89.3 FM. It's time for riveting news with Ryan Super Rich. And now, it's time for classy news of the day with Hoppy and Super Rich. The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.